And
Thank you very much.
I think Man of Steel is an absolute masterpiece that I've seen 35 million times.
You and me both, man.
I think you are genuinely the greatest Superman to ever live, and I want you to continue playing the character.
Thank you very much.
I just wanted to know your thoughts real fast, if you had any. I know you're waiting for this question all day, but what are your thoughts on people being so vocal about the Snyder Cut, and is it something that you have seen, or would you want to see it?
I have not seen any Snyder Cut. I don't know if there's anything that exists that is a Snyder Cut. I'm sure there's footage out there which has probably been pieced together over the years. I'm always interested to see how that stuff turns out, but that is very much a chapter in my past. I would rather talk about what is going to happen in the future, the future of Superman, how I can express that character from the comic books, which ties in nicely to Man of Steel. Man of Steel, I really like that movie, and I'd like to be able to tell the story where it was left at that point.
Can we get that?
I can tell you nothing.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so awesome if that happens.
It would indeed be awesome.
Right, so then it goes on to and it asks, well, everybody else, tweeted, release the Snyder Cut, and you didn't come out and say release the Snyder Cut. Why was that? And he then goes on and replies, well, I just want to, I don't really like looking back to the moustache thing there and stuff, and he doesn't really give a clear enough sort of answer. He sort of things around, and it puts me into a mind where I'm actually agreeing with some of the other YouTubers about Henry Cavill and the going on behind the scene. We have that woman, I can't remember her name, she does be behind the trailers. I'll put a wee link to who I'm talking about down there, and she basically says that there's a kind of a diva thing about him just now behind the scenes. And when I look back on Justice League, he seems to have preferred the way that Joss Whedon was shooting him. So it then led me to believe, what was his relationship with Zack Snyder? Because surely with the Justice League coming out and not having that fan response to the film, for the film to do badly, for the film to talk about the CGI. As an actor, I've had to spend a lot of time doing Justice League or building my Superman up. I would want the Justice League to be great. So the fact that there's this Snyder Cut. Now, let's go back as well. Zack Snyder made Man of Steel. He chose Henry Cavill. He's put him in the role that that he wanted to play for so long. Just like Jason Momoa is pally with Zack Snyder, because Zack Snyder has put Jason Momoa on the map, and he tried to do that with Ray Fisher. And you got Ray Fisher wearing a t-shirt saying, I love Zack Snyder. And so it really, you can dress it around and say, oh, maybe he was asked to be quiet about certain things because his management team are not go into that. Maybe they're trying to just promote The Witcher and stuff like that. But the fact that he's moved on, I'm surprised that his management team, or his gaffer or whatnot, his agent, not told him to get on board with this, release the Snyder Cut, so that the Superman fans, the ones that loved him and loved the film Man of Steel and BVS, would hold him in high regard. Right now, he's on a touchy level. We're asking ourselves, well, I am. We're asking ourselves, what is his relationship with Zack? Because it doesn't seem to be there. And the fact that he kind of went back and said Man of Steel was a film that was Browner, it doesn't really speak much about BVS, because for me, my interpretation of that video, I think he believes that BVS wasn't the film that he wanted, and when Joss Whedon came about, he thought he was finally going to get the film that he did, and now this is why he's obsessed about maybe a Man of Steel film. But what he doesn't realise is if you get the Justice League cut, right, it would actually put him in a better light. It would show him being the Superman that he claims he wants to portray. Because I believe that Superman that he wants to portray is in the Snyder Cut. So I feel just now that he's just ditched Zack. I like Jason Momoa, where you see videos of him going up to Zack and patting him on the back, and he says, you helped me start my career and everything else and stuff. Zack's Ray Fisher, that I love Zack Snyder. Gal Gadot owes a lot to Zack Snyder. And here we have Henry Cavill, who just basically says, I don't look back in my past, I go forward. He's very much a career-driven guy, and very much not. He doesn't seem to be getting those pivotal big movie roles. And I mean, I actually loved Henry Cavill. I thought the way he responded to his fans when he got the Superman role was fantastic. But I'm having my doubts about his behind the camera sort of behaviour, his him being a diva, or him claiming to think, that he knows best. I have seen nothing that reassures me that he is behind Zack, or that he would actually want to work with Zack again on a Man of Steel movie. So, even though I love Man of Steel and BVS, Henry Cavill is definitely. I'm really starting to think he's not the man I thought he was. Now, at the end of this, I'll give you a link to that woman. No, not the video that. I'll try and get you the video, and she claims to be that Henry Cavill doesn't seem to have a big presence in Hollywood. His attitude to some of the people behind the scenes. Now, a lot of people will come to the defence, and I don't know if it's true, but given just a snippet of that interview, he's either been pressured quite a lot by his agent, told what to say, or the fact that he's never even looked into the Snyder Cut. Or he's been told to pretend that it doesn't exist, that there's cuts of it someplace. It really, I think fans at this time will be feeling betrayed by Henry Cavill, for those Man of Steel fans, and feel like he has just turned his back on the whole thing, and he's definitely no Jason Momoa. I mean, don't get me wrong, I would still like him to play Superman and everything else, but the person himself, he's slowly losing me, and I hope in the future, I mean, he can lose me and I'll still like him as Superman. Like Tom Cruise, I love his movies, I love his he's a Wally, but I would still go and pay for his movies. So I honestly hope that something comes up, and there's some sort of, I don't know, I'm now thinking about it, when I went to go back to the Justice League, he seems to have been very separate from Ben Affleck and the rest of the crew and Gal Gadot. He didn't seem to be one of the team. He didn't seem to be all that comfortable with the rest of them. I don't know, as I say, it could all be in my head. And if I see pictures of him and Zack or bonding together or anything else, then I'll put my hands up and say, I'm wrong. I'm glad I'm wrong. But who knows? Let me know your thoughts and feelings about it. As I say, I'm not here to say that this is it. This is just my thoughts at the time, at this time. And right now, they're not very good looking at Henry Cavill. So here's a wee video of Chris Swanson. Is it Swanson? It's the whole video of what he believes, which is a wee bit more positive. But for me, I like to be real. And for an actor, I mean, here's another thing. When I said about him being too much of a diva, he's in a TV show. He's not a main star in a movie. He's not scripted as a big, as a main role in an action movie or a very heavy character-driven movie at all. But what he is doing, he's in a TV series, Witcher. So, has that anything to do with his behaviour behind the camera? I don't know. But I have my doubts. And right now, my feelings is that him and Zack isn't exactly tight. This is sad. But I hope he comes out and proves me wrong. This is DC Vigilante. Catch you later. My truth.